So with the Joe Mixon situation not coming to an end, but getting figured out a little bit in court, here's what we got from the whole court hearing on the 14th. So Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon pled not guilty to one count of aggravated menacing, court records showed. Mixon was granted recognition for a $10,000 bond, according to Henderson County records, and he requested a jury trial. He was ordered to have no contact with the woman. Mixon's attorney submitted the request Wednesday morning in his first court appearance for the alleged incident occurred on January 21st. It's the same case that was dismissed by the city prosecutor office before it was refiled on April 7th. We're not going to try this case on the courthouse steps or in the media. We'll try it in the courtroom, one of Mixon's attorneys said. Cincinnati official alleged that Mixon pointed a firearm at the woman and threatened to shoot her in the face, according to an affidavit. According to the Cincinnati Enquirer, Mixon was on his way to his team facility as the Bengals prepared to travel to Buffalo for an AFC Division Round playoff game. The case was initially dismissed less than 24 hours after charges were filed. Peter Schrager, Mixon's agent, told ESPN and other outlets the charges was a rush to judgment. City officials said at the time that there was a possibility the charges could be resubmitted upon further investigation. So to say it's a rush to judgment is actually incorrect, because it was refiled because there was more evidence that came out against him. So that's why it was refiled. So it wasn't really rushed to judgment. It was more or less like, less before we talk, just get all the information down. But again, it was dropped because there wasn't enough evidence. That's the reason why it was dropped. It wasn't dropped because he wasn't guilty. It was dropped because there wasn't enough evidence on him to convict him of the crime. In the affidavit filed on April 7th, Mixon was identified by photos of his license plate and was picked out of a photo lineup by the accuser. So there's photos of his license plate in the road rage incident. And his accuser said, yup, that's the guy right there. Now, again, that could be collusion if she knew who he was. But again, his license plate's at the scene of the crime. His house is the scene of the crime. My man's, you're not looking good when it comes to being the scene of the crime. Mixon, 26, was seen Monday on the first day of the Bengals offseason workouts. He did not answer questions, saying that he normally doesn't speak to the media until training camp in July. But he said he was happy to be with the Bengals for another season. Mixon, a former second-round pick, has spent his entire 6-year career with the Bengals. His 5th in franchise history in career rushings, was selected for the Pro Bowl in 2021. In March, and then it just goes back to his accomplishments. Listen, again, he is innocent until proven guilty. That is what it is. You can go back and forth and say, well, this proves that they should cut him. This proves he is there at the scene of the crime. This proves that, everything we're saying. But at the end of the day, it's innocent until proven guilty. And we talked about this in a video earlier. If they cut him right now, they have 5.5 dead money, 7.2 cap savings. So if they cut him at this moment in time, so 1.7 million they get to save. If they cut him post June 1st, it's and my math is always incorrect here, 7.25 million savings. They're not going to cut him right now. They're not. Unless that this court case goes to absolute heck and it's beyond a reasonable doubt that he's guilty. Cincy right now, especially because, again, they save more money by cutting him later, they're just going to say, we're not going to discuss this until July. Until June, actually. And June, they might cut him for this. If they trade him post June 1st, it's the same money, 7.25 mil. They trade him now, it's a total of What is this? 5. It's 1.7 technically. Was that the first number too? It was the first number. Okay. Let me just do the math here on the calculator, because my 7 college math classes I took. Yes, I took 7 math classes in college. Believe it or not, I went to college for computer science. You know anything about computer science, it's a lot of freaking math classes. 1.7 mil. If they cut or trade him. Cut him right now, trade him right now, they say 1.7 mil. After June 1st, let's just do the math, because we did the math the last one here. I want to get the exact number, because I'm estimating based on looking at, rough estimates. Okay, minus 2.75. 7.2 mil. So if they cut him right now, trade him right now, that first number, if they do it after June 1st, is 7.2 mil. So they're going to wait. It doesn't matter what he did, if he's guilty or not, since he's going to wait. Now, if he does become guilty at any time, the NFL will step in. What they will do is what they did with the Ray Rice situation and a couple other situations in the past. He will go on the on Commissioner Goodell's exempt list. This means that you are suspended indefinitely. You are suspended until they can figure out what to do with you. Whether that is absolutely you're out of the NFL, or you're still in the NFL, but you are pending a suspension by the NFL for a certain amount of games. So, we could see, in about, literally less than a month, he ends up being put on the NFL exempt list, and he now can't even play. He can't do anything. He's not suspended, but he's in limbo until the NFL figures out what the suspension is. Now, usually that's only for the Ray Rice situation where it's so heinous, so awful, that's listen, we can't have this guy out there. We can't have this guy representing us. Again, at this moment in time, there is no charges that were technically, or the charges filed against him. He pled not guilty. There is no 1000% evidence saying that what he did what he did, right? There is a picture putting his car at the scene of the crime, okay? There is a eyewitness, who is the accuser, who is saying, that is the guy. Put 2 and 2 together, okay? He did it. Here's a picture of his car at the scene of the crime. Could she be lying? Absolutely. That's why we're innocent until proven guilty. Because if she could be lying about that and to say, hey, listen, he pulled up behind her. Again, based on what I understand, there's no picture. According to that article, there might be more evidence we're not learning about with this article. I looked at different articles. I haven't seen any article that said that had a picture of him with the firearm pointing at her. I did not see any picture or article about that. There might be. If there's a picture or article about that, I think he'd be guilty within seconds, right? There wouldn't be much talking. Well, I didn't technically. There's a picture right there of you pointing the weapon. That's not me. That was some JP Ryan. That's not me. No. Guys, and we're note though, all jokes aside, we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. But I did make a video earlier today talking about the subject because based on what I've seen from sources, a lot of different sources around the NFL, they're saying that right now, Joe Mixon is going to get an ultimatum. Take a pay cut down to around $4.5 million, or you're gone after June 1st. So, take a pay cut, or after June 1st, kick rocks. I think he'll take the pay cut. I think he'll take the pay cut. Especially with everything going on right now. Joe's probably going to go take the pay cut, because no team right now, if they cut him, no team in the NFL right now would sign him. They tried trading him. And there was rumors that when they tried trading him, teams were not interested because, I don't know, maybe the situation at hand. So he'll probably just take the pay cut, stay on the Bengals, and we'll draft another running back. Plus, Travion Williams will get his chance and opportunity. And maybe Joe Mixon, starting off the season, ends up not being a Bengal. Maybe he ends up being a Bengal. But at this moment in time, kind of go back and forth on what could be, what could not be. But he is innocent until proven guilty. I'm going to say that a million times because until I see a verdict by the judge, innocent until proven guilty. See you guys next one. Peace out.